Ellen De Generes. Feel sorry for me. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. If you haven't already enjoyed my consummate roast of Ellen De Generes, then I recommend that you do so. It's easy to find. Just search for H.G. Roasts Ellen De Generes and prepare yourself to laugh yourself into a coma. I've also explained in other articles about her narcissism, which included, of course, the time that she utilised that narcissism as she would in order to take the piss out of this one's wife when this one's wife appeared on her show back in 2021. We know that Ellen De Generes' behaviour eventually became exposed, as it often is with the narcissist. As I repeatedly explain, if you can provide the evidence and you give the narcissist enough rope, they'll expose themselves. And that was the case with Ellen De Generes. She suffered a fall from grace as a consequence of always being the one to espouse be kind, and then engage in behaviours were anything but. Nevertheless, her narcissism hasn't gone away, even though her prominence in the public view has. And this has been demonstrated with an article by Amy Lamar, writing for the Daily Mail, who explains Ellen DeGeneres looks serious as she and wife Portia de Rossi head into LA comedy venue after revealing how devastating bullying accusations affected their marriage. One of the notable behaviours of the narcissist is that when they have done something awful, they will often demonstrate their victim mentality rather than showing any compassion for the person or persons that they have affected. Sean P. Diddy Combs was a good example of that just recently when, after being exposed, physically assaulting a former girlfriend in a leaked video, he then went on to talk all about himself in a video that he posted to social media, talking about how he was undertaking therapy, doing the work, etc. But he didn't mention any compassion whatsoever for his victim. He was entirely caught up in his own self-absorption. Typically, where an individual who is a narcissist has been exposed and their behaviours have resulted in mass disapproval, cancellation, etc., possibly even criminal action against them, we will have the false contrition of "I'm so sorry," but it's just a bloodfest for themselves. There's no actual consideration of the victims. It's all about how the narcissist has been affected by what has happened, because this is the perpetual victim mentality of the narcissist, which is, everybody's been horrible to me and I don't deserve it. My show's been cancelled and it's not fair. I couldn't help what I did, and the outpouring of outrage towards me is wholly disproportionate. It's caused me to have a breakdown. I've been hiding in the house, having to watch daytime television with the curtains shut for days on end. Ellen DeGeneres demonstrates that similar victim mentality here. As reported, she and her wife of 15 years, Portia de Rossi, proved their love for one another. Well, it's a one-way love, Rossi towards DeGeneres, but not the other way around, as they coordinated in navy blue jackets at the iconic Largo at the Coronet in West Hollywood. The Finding Nemo voice actress, 66, and the Ally McBeal star, 51, made their way across the parking lot of the tiny venue ahead of Ellen's set. It comes as DeGeneres told a crowd at one of her recent comedy shows how the devastating bullying accusations, note the use of accusations, affected her marriage. So it's not about the people who were affected by her bullying behaviour. No, it's all about how those accusations, because her narcissism will not accept that she actually did behave that way, and how that's impacted on her. I'm making jokes about what happened to me, but it was devastating. Pity play, she said at her show in April. It took a long time for me want to do anything again. Ah, poor diddums, it's such a shame. Referencing the toxic culture on her show and being cancelled, DeGeneres revealed how it affected her marriage, saying, "It's hard to dance when you're crying." Well, what about it's hard to work when some twat is bullying you? How about that, DeGeneres? How about it's hard to have any self-esteem when some nasty wanker is giving it large on a daily basis towards you, making your working environment particularly hellish. But of course, she doesn't give a rat's ass about any of that because she has no emotional empathy, and instead she has to try and elicit sympathy by telling us all, "It's hard to dance when you're crying." Still, it looks, as the Daily Mail reports, as though the couple have made it through the hard times. The former host of the Ellen show wore a navy blue jacket buttoned all the way up with black pants and athletic shoes, as she looked lost in thought. Her stunning wife, meanwhile, put on a masterclass in preppy style in a crisp white shirt with a navy and green sweater, navy blazer, and perfectly distressed straight-leg jeans. Probably not as distressed as those that were working on the Ellen show. The gig at the Largo comes after the prolific comedienne announced what she intends to be her last comedy special ever. Huzzah! To answer the question everyone is asking me, yes, I'm going to talk about it. Yes, this is my last special. Yes, Portia really is that pretty in real life. Flattery, Degeneres said in a recent statement per Variety. The Mr. Wrong star is also kicking off a multi-city stand-up tour in San Diego in support of the comedy special for Netflix. So even though her show was effectively cancelled, she's not gone quietly. Her narcissism continues to drive her to try and seek attention, fuel. It continues to drive her to remain in the public eye. Rather than show a shred of decency by thinking, you know what, I've made shitloads of money here, I've had a really good run. However, in the circumstances, I'll just stay in one of my homes and enjoy life with my wife. No, that's not enough. She has to tell the world that she's hard done to, because each time the bullying allegations come up on her radar, it threatens her need for control and she needs to do something about it. Often, she'll complain to Portia de Rossi, her intimate partner primary source, about how unfair it all is. But here, she's gone further by explaining to the world at large how hard done to she is, how it's unfair, and how devastated she was. Of course, no mention whatsoever of those affected by it. It has to be all about her. That once again, she doesn't show any decency because she doesn't have any, and she continues to court the limelight by undertaking a new show and a comedy tour for the purposes, naturally, of pursuing the prime aims. Apparently, she's worth $380 million. You'd think that might be that might be enough. And apparently she makes quite a lot of money from flipping houses. And she's even dishing out home loans to relatives wanting to join the property owners club. That they've lent millions to their respective brothers to buy luxury homes in California. That, of course, such financial largesse is part of grandiosity on her part. It isn't born out of genuine desire to help, because as a narcissist, once again, she's looking to assert control over those individuals. A nasty narcissist who had a bullying who engaged in bullying, often doing it on camera and dressing it up as comedy, demonstrates that when it's directed towards her, criticism, she can't cope with it and has to dole out a pity play. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.